Hey, beautiful people. How are you doing? I don't know if you've seen this, but Luna is coming out with a 2.0 version. You know, in case you wanted to lose all of your life savings in a Ponzi scheme twice, that may be for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the World According to Kyle podcast. Ow! How you doing, everybody? I'm great, thanks for asking. You can always find me on your various social media platforms, including on YouTube at Kyle Max, on Twitter at Kyleverse, Instagram Kyle Max 86, Facebook's Kyle Max, Reddit TWA2K. Questions for the show, topics you want to see, slide into my DMs and give me something. You can find me, this podcast on YouTube, or for your ears only, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and Geo Savan. How you doing, everybody? Lots been going on, so I've been wanting to podcast more frequently. My initial plan was to do 2 podcasts one podcast every 2 weeks, but just things have been really heating up. There's a lot to go over, and I don't want to miss anything. I've actually got a backlog of shit to talk about that I could easily do a podcast once per week, but I kind of want to ease my way into this. We had, obviously the tragic shooting in Texas. I'm going to go over that a little bit later. First off, I think we're going to talk a little crypto as, I had a cold open that was crypto related. So, back by popular demand, it's a Tales from the Crypt. Oh! Tales from the Crypto. Ow! How is it going? Everybody's in the fucking red, and so am I. But, not really too worried about most of my shit, as I did not advise anybody to buy any Luna. That's for damn sure. This is all about, and this all boils down to knowing what you hold and knowing who the people are that are operating, the platforms that you're, the networks that you're invested in. This Do Kwon guy apparently had a kill switch, which would automatically liquidate all of his assets, and basically so he would be able to get off scot-free in the case of danger, which their stablecoin collapsing, and their stablecoin was propped up by absolutely nothing, was danger, and dump all over investors. So those of you who are stupid enough to buy the 2.0 version, you're already down 70% on your holdings. So, know the people who are operating the cryptos that you're investing in. And at the very least, if you want to get into something speculatively, if that's a word, you know what I'm talking about. If you want to get into something like that, get in lightly, and then research more on it. Say if I liked kind of like the tokenomics of something, and I didn't know too much about it, and it was at a good price, I would buy it, and then I would continue to do research on that coin, and then figure out if I want to buy more of that coin, instead of just slapping down thousands of dollars right away and having a super high risk asset potentially. Now, everything's been down, and I've been looking to buy, and money's been tight lately. So what did I do? I broke out the hedge trimmers a little bit. I shaved off a little bit off of some of my cryptos, and I used it to buy a couple ones that I've been doing more research on lately, and I've been finding that it would help to have decent positions in. So I broke out the hedge trimmers, did a little chop off of some of the assets that I had an abundance of, and then just trim the fat, if you will. So I decided that I needed to have a little bit of Casper, and I needed to have a little bit of Quant. Now, the Casper I ended up getting, and I have a decent bag of Quant. I bought a little bit of, and I'm gonna kind of perpetually kind of fund with a little bit over the course of the my next couple paychecks, and kind of beef up over the next couple months, I'm thinking. So that's kind of the plan. I already got some Casper. I got it locked into staking. I'm staking it right now, just having it locked in. I think the price right now is around a little bit under 5 cents Canadian. So I mean, that's stupid good deal. So I was really stoked. I was going to find the way to get some money to be able to buy it, because I didn't think it would get this low, and who knows, maybe the market dips lower. I'm all for it. I would I will gladly beef up my positions, because I'm not worried about the future. I mean, I'm invested in future-proof assets. I'm not invested in quick flips. I have a couple kind of long-shot specialty assets, but for the most part, I'm invested in things that are going to be around 5 to 10 years from now, and if I have to wait 5 to 10 years for them to hit their levels, then so be it. I think 35 cents, 30 cents Casper is around the range I've kind of been seeing it at. 15 cents I've seen it recently, and it finally just kind of the bottom kind of caved out, and finally hit the 5 cent range, and I couldn't resist. I had to get out the hedge trimmers after this, and it was a little bit weird, because my landlord requires me to have post-dated checks. So it was a little interesting, the dichotomy between me with my right hand writing out fucking post-dated checks, and with my left hand I'm flipping 20 different cryptos through 5 different exchanges to hedge my portfolio with the other hand. So it was an interesting juxtaposition, an interesting contrast, if you will. I actually had to look up on YouTube how to write a check. That was how ignorant I was on it, or not ignorant, but I've written them before, but this is how infrequently I've done it in the last little while, that I actually had to fucking watch a YouTube video and figure out how exactly to write a check. Now, here's the thing with crypto, where you can get really creamed if you're not on top of your shit. So I was I had a hedged my positions, and I had got a little of extra USDT. Now, there's only a few places you can buy Casper. I bought it off Hotbit, and the convenient thing about Hotbit is that you can also stake directly on the website. So I had all this USDT, and then I was about to send it over to the network. So this is why you always got to pay attention. I was about to send the USDT to the Hotbit network, and so I was looking at the bottom transaction fee, $25 fucking dollars to send the tether over to Hotbit. So what did I do? I flipped my tether for XLM, and then sent my XLM because I found out that Hotbit accepts XLM, so I flipped it to XLM, and I know that XLM has a super low transaction fee, so flipped it to XLM, sent it over to Hotbit, and then flip my XLM for Tether, and then use my Tether to buy the Casper. Usually I use the market instead of the limit, but there is not as much activity on the Hotbit network, so you actually have to use limit. So you basically have to set your price and set the order price. So I kind of fucked up, and I set the price to too low to buy, and it started going up overnight. And like I've bought time off there before. Like the good thing about Hotbit is they have some some good lesser known cryptos that and you can stake directly off the site. Like with time, like it took about 5 hours for my time order to fill when I was buying some time. So I did it late last night, and I figured it would be good by the morning, but the price shot up, and then all of a sudden my order for my lowish buy was not filled, and so I had to set another order. You just got to be very careful with the price that you're setting it at if you want to be able to have the order filled right away. And so it's just a little extra layer of confusion when you're setting limit orders instead of market orders. But with unless like on KuCoin, I find it takes very little time for transactions to settle, so I can go with market orders and it'll still settle within seconds. Because of the amount of volume and activity on KuCoin, but the networks with lesser activity, you just have to be very careful at the price you're setting it on. Check the bar with the buys and sells, and see if you can kind of squeeze in at a price if you want to be able to buy it right away. Like if you're worried that the price is gonna go up. I probably lost like maybe 500 I got like 500 less Casper by kind of not setting it at the price that I really needed to set it at. So just a couple tips if you're first getting in to crypto is make sure to pay attention to the transaction fees, and really make sure to set a solid price if you're doing limit instead of market orders. Now, what's so good about these cryptos that I needed to hedge, and I needed to get some of these in order to make sure my portfolio is well rounded. Well, let's start with Casper. Okay, so Casper is about contracts. It's about how it was explained to me was so Mark Zuckerberg, he basically stole the idea of Facebook from these sets of twins who were working on it with him, but he was the one who went and did all the footwork and like and like was working on it, but with these twins. But he was the one who kind of like got the process all in motion. So Casper is like something that that would have prevented like those twins from getting fucked over on Facebook. It's like creating a private layer for to operate businesses and networks over top of that, is able to quantitatively assess like who is doing what and who's putting what into the project, whatever sort of project you're working on. So the thing with Casper is that it's kind of like it's gonna be around for a while, and it's really gonna kind of revolutionize enterprise and business operations, and just the fact that it's kind of as dirt cheap as it is was definitely worth for me to pick up a bag, and I think it's kind of one of the assets that will be around for the utility bull run, which most of my assets in my portfolio are pro utility assets. I have a couple of long shot tokenomic based assets as well for super high profits potentially if they can pop back to all-time highs, or if we get on another market bull run. But generally speaking, 80 to 85% of my portfolio is in utility-based cryptos that are gonna be around for a long time, that are gonna be the future of crypto. Now, Quant is another one of those assets, and the reason I got into Quant is that so Quant is a blockchain that operates like what they refer to as like an overledger, and Quant is gonna specialize in interoperability, and it also utilizes distributed ledger technology, DLT. It's so interoperability is basically going to be like if you have a network and you're transferring to another network, that so like say Hedera to ETH or XRP to Bitcoin. If we're gonna use a lot of those type of transactions in the future, that Quant is going to be very heavily utilized. So here, Quant is currently $85 Canadian. That's probably something like 60, $70, 65, $70 American. I don't know exactly. They have a total supply of 14.6 million. When things were kind of like more stable, it was trading at $150 to $180 Canadian. Now here's an interesting quote about their description. So quote, it is an agnostic platform that connects the world's networks to blockchains and ensures you are not limited to any single vendor or technology. Overledger is the only platform that facilitates the development of internet scales development of decentralized multi-chain applications. End quote. So, that was basically like a long-winded way of saying what I just mentioned. Is that the different network to different network transfer and being able to have an over ledger, a ledger that's over top of all the other ledgers in networks that can transfer between networks. So a lot of people I've heard say that quant, based on like the supply I just told you, it's not a super high supply. And there are a lot of people that think it's the most likely crypto to have a Bitcoin-like surge. Only this is like for utility instead of pure speculation, as Bitcoin was. So like it can get even theoretically can get even higher. The best case scenario for us with quant is if there are multiple networks. If like the future is going to have multiple networks with large market shares, and it would require interoperability. Like, if we have Hedera, and if we have XRP, and if we have Casper, and if we have ETH, and if we have Bitcoin, if that is a future that we're looking at, which there's a good chance that that could happen if we have a let's say 10 to 100 different cryptos and networks, then that is the perfect dream layout for quant to be able to hit massive numbers. So if that's what we're looking at it in the future at a medium to high level of multi-chain, multi-blockchain networks, then not having quant is gonna be a shitty time, and you're gonna really miss out on something that is has super big BTC like surge price potential. So I can't not have a little bit of this. The bad side is that if quant is if there's going to be one or two blockchains that dominate, and if you're going to send all your crypto through a couple of blockchains, and they're going to dominate the overall market share, then that's the worst case scenario for quant. But we're picking it up at prices under 100 Canadian is an absolute steal. I would say right now for the dependent on the environment, on the crypto environment, I would say anything under like 200 Canadian, 150 US is I'm fine with. I'm fine with padding my my bankroll, my bag of quant at those prices. So that's kind of what my portfolio's been doing lately. Not much else to update on. Besides SafeMoon. Now, SafeMoon has kind of taken a shit kicking a little bit, but I haven't sold. It was one of the assets that I used my hedge trimmers on to be able to beef up, to be able to buy bags on Casper and Quant, but I still have like my my bag, my bag that I wanted for SafeMoon, and if I had to break out the hedge trimmers to chop a little bit, that's fine. But I still have like my my desired amount, and it's kind of taken a little bit of a pumping lately, and there's some excitement coming out, and I just think they're kind of doing things the right way. They're interested in, and if they achieve their goals that they set out, and from what I've seen so far, like I've liked what they've done. Like I use a SafeMoon wallet, and I find it's like really good. It's like really solid product, and they didn't just like come out with something that was just like, okay, we needed to come out with something, and so if they do the same thing with the swap and exchange, and if they really, and the blockchain, and if they achieve all these goals, and if they do them the right way, SafeMoon has massive potential, and I kind of have not been re-upping my bags because I already had like the desired bag that I wanted to have, and I had it at good enough prices, so I kind of am just waiting out this current bear market and see what happens. Now we could go lower, and we could go, and that applies across the board. Many people are calling for the collapse of Tether and further downward trajectory for BTC. Me personally, I don't know. I don't see the market going below 1 trillion. And if it does, not much has changed. I still like my positions now. So my portfolio, I don't think it really makes sense to break down percentages, because like percentages that I bought it for versus what it's worth now are fucking completely different. But you guys all know, if you've been listening, is that XRP is my fucking big daddy. That's what I got. 75% of my portfolio is invested in XRP, and the following are like lesser chunks, but still decent amounts, and still like the minimum desired amounts that I've wanted to have at least. So XRP, and then split for the last 25% is between SafeMoon, XDC, HBAR, QNT, Casper, Time, Libero, and CrossWallet. So that's kind of how my portfolio is looking right now, and we'll see how things play out. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that there hasn't been a pump, that there's been so much bearish action. I think that maybe a lot more, that we've reached kind of the speculative peak of crypto, and that we are not going to start to see crazy pumps until the utility bull run comes. And that is going to come likely with the resolution of the XRP case. So I think, maybe we'll see a bull run before that. But if we don't, I expect that we will see a utility / altcoin bull run finally when this XRP case gets resolved. So let's move on to the next topic now. Now, time to darken the mood significantly. We had a quick moment of silence for the victims of the Buffalo shooting. Now, it's time to have another quick moment of silence before, we go over the Texas shooting. So, real quickly. All right. Now, I have a lot of thoughts on this. This is a very complicated issue to go over, and there's a lot of nuances, and there's a lot of directions, and there's a lot of politicizing of what's going on. But ultimately, politicizing is necessary because politics are what controls and runs how we operate things. Now, I want to start here. So, this is the dangers of short-sighted thinking. Now, One of my favorite authors is Nassim Taleb, author of the famous Black Swan book. And he has, for, last 10 years been really agitated by this following pseudo-intellectual, Steven Pinker. Now, Steven Pinker released a book called The Better Angels of Our Nature, or some shit like that, where he is saying that crime is dropping. Like, the crime rates are dropping since the 90s, and that this is because society is getting less violent. Now, if you would look around and say, you'd probably, if you would kind of like, put your finger in the air and kind of get a whiff of like what's happening, I don't think you would say that. But, I mean, the stats do kind of bear that out. But what's happening is that it's a very short sample size. And Taleb talks about this in Fooled by Randomness. His book, Fooled by Randomness, is that you are taking the movement in any direction and you are analyzing it as either regression or progression towards something, when realistically it's just a short sample size, and you can't really garner anything off of that. You can't really objectively assess this as like going up or going down. It is just a plot on the graph, and there are different circumstances, economically, circumstantially, that kind of play into what's happening. So you are taking something that is like completely random, and you're trying to project your worldview onto this. And if you take the data back 25, you can basically create whichever trend line you want based on how far you're pulling back the data and what narrative that you're trying to push. Now, that's the thing with me, is that I don't like books that I like books that make me feel stupid. And I think most people kind of do the reverse. They find these kind of pseudo intellectuals like Jordan Peterson and Steven Pinker, who just like, yeah, you got these rules and you can operate within these rules, and that's life, and if you follow them, then you'll be good. But if you actually understand reality for how it is, and that there are no complete sets of rules in how to operate things, that's the scary truth. And that's a truth that most people are uncomfortable with, so they like these sets of rules. I don't. I like books that make me feel like an idiot after reading them. And I think, we're at a, if we just sit and like, look at the 90s and say, oh, hey, violence is down a little bit, that we can really get flanked by, these horrific mass shootings. And I have a theory, actually, that what precipitated the drop in crime from the 90s to like the aughts and the time frame that we're in now. And I don't know, maybe this is something for the Freakonomics guys to mull over the data on. Just a working theory from a working class asshole such as myself, is that I feel that maybe instead of where society's getting less violent, what I think that was a reason for the notable or noteworthy drop in crime between the 90s and now? Video cameras, and the fact that everything is video recorded. So a person who wanted to commit a violent act, before, they knew that, if, even if it got caught on camera, the footage would be choppy. Maybe they wouldn't be exactly able to be identified. Now you got fucking door cameras on every single door, every other door in residential neighborhoods, protecting their packages. And like literally, it's kind of rare for you to be able to get away with a crime without anybody, without any kind of video footage or video camera seeing this. Now, I don't like using that as kind of a preface to jump into this horrific tragedy that happened in Uvalde, Texas. Now, I don't know how Americans can just constantly watch this happening. This is absolutely spiritually draining for me to watch, and I don't even fucking live in America. It's like, it's really hit me hard to just think about what's happened and hearing some of the fucking some of the stories, how they're and hearing the timeline, and like I do not know how Americans can just watch this and not do anything. It's insane. It's and it's like thinking about those poor kids and what they fucking went through, and the fucking horror, that's just, they wouldn't even put that in movies. It's so fucking it's so disturbing. And guns are to blame, but they aren't only to blame. Everyone likes to cite the fact that the mass shootings in the United States has a shit ton of mass shootings. It is that you can easily access assault rifles. But unless the data has changed, I know that Switzerland actually has the most assault rifles per capita than the United States, and they're never on the list. So I think it's a combination of three different things. I think it's number one, guns. Number two, culture. And number three, poverty. And I think this kind of conglomeration of things is the deadly thing. Is the thing that is creating this environment in which serial killers and mass shootings and shit like this it is so prominent. And it was it was really heartening and maybe foolishly heartening that the outpouring of support towards Texas, despite the fact that they have had a negative or backwards impact on gun culture, and that they have been unwilling to compromise and unwilling to sacrifice anything at all. How they have been promoting gun use from an early age, and so it's the outpouring of support towards Texas in this massacre that tells you all you need to know. That tells you that this is not about taking away your freedom, okay? We do not want to take away your freedom. It's not about that. It's about not wanting to see mass murders. And what's responsible and what isn't reasonable for protection, okay? Like, you know, this isn't about wanting to take shit away from you or to reduce your freedoms or your liberty. It just is about not wanting to see fucking kids get killed and your own citizens get fucking murdered, okay? You know, that shows you all it needs to be. That shows you all you need to know. And that is why and you know, they could have said, hey, you know, this is Texas. This is what they do. This is what they signed up for. But they didn't do that because they fucking care about you. They don't want to kill your freedoms, okay? They want your kids to fucking grow up to see adulthood, okay? Like every kid should have the fucking right to. Fucking disgusting. And but here's the cold truth that the left is not willing to realize, is that they will literally, the right will literally start a civil war if you try to change the Second Amendment and you try to take their guns away. Because they are more worried about fake government conspiracies than real life kids dying. And that's the fucking truth of the matter. Is that your kids dying, if you live in a red state, is a willing sacrifice for them. They are willing to make that sacrifice. Kids dying and children dying in mass shootings is something they are comfortable with. And they have known this. They have known that this was going to happen from the get-go. And they didn't care. And they did nothing. And they were a negative factor in preventing this. So they don't give a fuck, okay? My only advice to you is that if you do not agree with this amosexual, this hyper gun culture worldview, you need to get the fuck out, okay? You need to view yourself the same as Ukrainians right now, except you are a domestic refugee. It's like they have already laid all their cards on the table. They already have all their cards laid on the table. And you keep thinking they're going to play nice or that they're going to change. They're not. It's like, you know, they have their cards on the table and you're still going to call and you're just going to like, well, they have me beat. Maybe they'll split the pot with me. They're not going to fucking split the pot with you. This is who they are. They've showed you who they are. The rest is up to you. If you want to fucking deal with this, if you want this to be on you, if you want to be a part of this, or if you want to raise your kids in an environment where they are likely to fucking get mowed down by the next fucking incel fucking worm who fucking can't handle the bullying that literally every child goes through in life, then that's on you. That's on you. You need to fucking, I've said this before in prior podcasts, you need to love the environment you are living in. You need to agree fundamentally with the principles of the environment that you are living in. This is like you're in a fucking bad relationship and you keep thinking that the other person is going to change. They're not. They are who they are. They've showed themselves to you, and now it's on you. Now it's on you to fucking do what you need to do to keep your children safe, to keep your family safe. Because the Second Amendment eventually is just going to be subject to interpretation. And if, there's never going to be a universal background check or a federal amendment to alter it or anything. It's going to be fucking... They're gonna deal with all these shootings, and they're comfortable with that because, quite frankly, they're more worried about fake Illuminati conspiracies that the government is gonna, despite despite the government not doing shit, are gonna somehow try and take their guns away. So that's what you're up against, and I just view it as a fact of putting myself in the shoes of someone that is living in there. This is do or die. This is, you are in a crisis. You must view yourself as a domestic refugee and get yourself the fuck out of there. Get out. I mean, there's no two ways about it. If you don't want to see your kids dying in one of these mass tragedies, go to a place where it is not easy for an 18-year-old incel to get his hands on a high-powered assault rifle and mow down a bunch of people. And people keep pointing out inconsistencies in these gun nuts arguments. Like, they say this, but not this. And, they want, they don't want you, to get an abortion, but, they're also angry that fathers don't exist. What they're doing is that they're treeing around the issue, and that they're thinking of anything they can possibly think of to not address the core of the issue. It's like you're expecting logical coherence from these fucking morons, and I don't think logical coherence is what they're going for. It's all about them using it as a rhetorical tool in order to justify keeping their pockets fat with NRA money at the expense of your kids' lives. And logical coherence versus rhetoric, it's similar to kind of like a Freudian slip. Like, a Freudian slip is something where somebody reveals the true nature of their character accidentally, where they're putting up they have a mask that they're using and they accidentally tell the truth. That is what a Freudian slip is. And probably the most great example of what a Freudian slip is was done very recently by former President George W. Bush. Now, let me play it for a second in case you guys haven't heard it. So here it is.
Political opponents are imprisoned or otherwise eliminated from participating in the electoral process. The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine.
So that was a textbook example of a Freudian slip right there. And that was somebody who accidentally told the truth. That is somebody who accidentally revealed the true nature of their character. And so that is similar to people who are using rhetoric versus logical coherence. They don't care about being consistent. They don't care about what's right. All they care about is whoever's lining their pockets or whatever political narrative they're trying to push. Okay, these are two of the most, rhetoric and Freudian slips are two of the most powerful and revealing aspects of psychology that you can use to detect when somebody is a person. Well, a person that you should not want to be around. That is, unless you are a complete fucking piece of shit also. Now, I know people keep saying, "No, voting to change this," or vote to change this. how is voting going to change this? Democrats have been in power for, the majority of the last like 20 to 30 years, and there's still no change, and there's still not going to be change. You know why? Because the Democrats know that the Republicans will literally cause a civil war if you try to change it, if you try to change the Second Amendment. So the best you can do is a state-by-state thing. The best you can do is by having mental health checks and having background checks in your state, so that psychopaths like this cannot get access to these to this high-powered weaponry, right? And you're going to see less mass shootings in areas where there are, and more mass shootings in areas where there aren't. And like I said, ultimately, it is on you. If you do not ideologically agree with the place that you are living in, then stop fucking trying to fight it. Stop trying to fight it and go somewhere. Love where you live. A couple other things on this issue is that there needs to be responsibility on the gun stores that sell this. Now, I know it's not legally possible in Texas because the NRA has made it so that the gun store that sells the rifle to the person who kills a bunch of children is not held legally responsible, but they need to be, and that will help create the background checks. That will help create the red flags on people. That will help, or having some sort of system where you take training and have psychological assessments before you are able to whatever. It would help create the necessary red tape so that this doesn't happen. And even the gun store owner says he felt felt bad about selling the kid the gun. It's like, well, you didn't fucking feel bad to not sell it to him or to vet him properly. It's like a relationship. You need to vet people properly before you just invite them to live with you or something. You need to you need to do personality assessments and make sure they don't have Freudian slips or coherence versus rhetoric slips or something like that. And now, real quickly, I just want to touch on the deeper issue, and the deeper issue is how we treat each other, and the fact that there is such a toxic, bullying, fucking shitty behavior culture that I think that is the reason why, despite the fact that Switzerland has more ARs per capita than the United States, that you're not seeing these things there. Is that there's just such a fucking toxic culture and such a bullying culture. And the one thing I will say is just treat each other good. Stop fucking teasing, stop bullying, be tolerant, fucking treat each other better, right? And stop giving kids hopelessness. Stop making kids feel like they're unwelcome, or stop pointing people out and saying that they're whatever, they don't dress a certain way, they don't do this, they don't do that, and picking on them. Just be tolerant of people, be good to people, be kind to people, because you never know what sort of reaction somebody will have, and you never know what an act of negativity can achieve, and you never know what depth be positive and be nice to people, even if they aren't nice to you. You don't want to give somebody an excuse or the reason to do this, and just be better to each other. Stop trying to fucking tease and pick and fucking bully on people, because That I think is the shit that that sets people off, and that is the shit where they feel completely hopeless. You think that your teenage years or your kid growing up, that this shit is so important. The people who, I thought were cool back in fucking grade school, I don't think are cool anymore. They're fucking losers now. And some of the people who were losers or people who got picked on in grade school and high school are cool now. Everything can change. And it's all about working on yourself and self-improvement. And you don't know what somebody is capable of or what they will achieve. But just, don't go over the top, and don't fucking just ruthlessly pick on people and give people the hopelessness that they want to be able to justify doing this insane fucking shit. It's like I said, it's a fucking draining for me to even fucking try and fathom. And I don't even fucking live in the United States, and Canada doesn't even have this shit here. But one thing I will say about Canadian culture right now is that so one of the people who is vying for premiership in the Liberal Party, Stephen Del Duca, he is taking this headline of this mass shooting as an opportunity to push his agenda for a handgun ban. Now, that is what I call going over the top. That is what is he's taking something that is super popular or not popular, but he's taking a hot button issue and trying to overcorrect on it. And see, this is where I respect Americans, is that Americans would not put up with this. This is, acceptable in Canada, whereas a handgun ban is okay, but how do you fucking protect yourself? Nobody needs a goddamn AR, but you should be able to have the fucking right to protect yourself. What am I gonna do if there's some fucking 6'4" fucking 260-pound fucking behemoth with a fucking with a machete, coming for me? I mean, so Canada does this too much, to a detriment, where we look at what's going on in the United States and, oh, hey, we have to fucking go so hard in the other direction, because this is, the United States does stick up for freedom, and they do, but I mean, at a point where your children are getting murdered, or their fucking chickens, getting slaughtered to fucking sent to the butcher, that's a fucking other thing completely, and needs to be reassessed. But to the level of Canada, where we're being too restrictive and having too much red tape, is a detriment to us, because there's nothing wrong with what Canada has right now. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't need to be changed. The only reason that a politician is pushing it is because, people are talking about it. It's a hot button issue in the United States. So, hey, let's suffocate Canada in more red tape, which is a reason why we're not able to compete with America as well as maybe we could. So any excuse to fucking latch on to a hot topic, a hot button issue in the United States at the expense of your average everyday Canadian citizens. And the Liberals are willing to do that. The Conservatives are, and the NDP, just who the fuck knows what they're doing. They promise fucking so much. Oh yeah, fucking this, that, we're gonna reduce climate change, we're gonna give everybody money, we'll suck your dick every other weekend. Oh yeah, where's that money gonna come from? Where are you gonna get that? Oh yeah, we'll be paying 80% in taxes in order to fucking get this to happen. So Canada needs to fucking realize what America does well, and kind of just fucking tone it down a little. America going a little too ham, if you will. Wow, so that's almost an hour, and that was only 2 subjects. So let's just have a quick little grab bag of a few little topics to close out the show, and finish off with that, because that was fucking draining for me, and like I said, I don't even live in the United States. So here is the TWA2K grab bag, the potpourri, the small topics that a couple little small topics will finally land the show on. So grab bag. Okay. Which law of physics is it that whenever I fucking turn my back to a pot, the motherfucker boils over like right away? Like, I'll be fucking looking at it, and I'll be fucking looking at it, and I'll be looking at it. Then I go, hey, let me shoot off a text to my friend. Oh my fuck, it's boiling over right now. And it's like, why, like, physics needs to fucking explain that to me, okay? Why does it always work that way? Where, like, it never boils over while I'm looking at it, but I fucking go to turn my back for 1 second, and then this shit fucking boils over right away. I don't know. Some physicist needs to fucking explain that to me. Next issue. If you're really pro-life, if you are really pro-life and anti-abortion, why the fuck is your birthday the day that you are born, on the day where you exit the vaginal entry, or exit, if in this case, of who is birthing? Answer me that. Why, if you are really so fucking pro-life, then why is your birthday not, okay, this is about 3 hours after your daddy was jackhammering me, and he meant to fucking nut in my ass and missed, and then some of the fucking sperm seeped down, and and then one of them hit the egg, and then three hours later, that is when you were born. So what? So if you're really pro-life, then why isn't that your birthday? Because birth, this word that we agreed on, means being born. So since you want to say that somebody is killing someone, how can you kill someone that is not born? Tell me. So what you need to do if you're really pro-life is you need to change your birthday to the time and the date that's 3 hours after you were getting pile-drived by your baby daddy, and he was fucking you in the ass, and he missed your anus and nutted into your vaginal entry, and then 3 hours later, that sperm fertilized, that semi-retarded sperm that accidentally swam into and fertilized your egg. That's when you need to change your birthday to. If you're really so dedicated and committed to the concept of pro-life, then really fucking do it. Say, this is when I was born. 3 hours after missionary position only, and the 3 seconds of pleasure that my husband, who's not allowed to masturbate, did finally nutted 3 seconds after he stuck it inside of me, and 3 hours later when the egg was fertilized, that is when I was born, and that is my birthday, because that is what I think life is. So why don't you change since you want to change this, since you want to change the meaning of what it is to murder somebody, then why don't you change what it is to be born and change your goddamn birthday, and then you could be fucking a almost a year older, so you fucking die quicker, you goddamn boomer idiot fuck. Next topic in the grab bag. Let's pull one out. The New York City subway psycho. Did you guys see this? This fucking, weirdo fucking dude in leotards. He grabbed this chick by the hair and everybody, and just had this psychotic breakdown. And, super scary for the people who are around. But I wanted to use this to make a different point, in that society will never be well until massive groups of people are willing to step up and do what is right in that situation and stop this motherfucker and stomp on this motherfucker and get together and fucking take this guy down. It's fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing to fucking live in a world where there are 20 motherfuckers on the goddamn subway doing nothing while he fucking is about to rip the hair out of this fucking poor woman who fucking did nothing. Who did nothing to antagonize him. Who he could have flipped out on anybody. It's fucking disgusting. And until fucking people can get to the point where, oh, at least I'm not being attacked. I'm just going to keep quiet and fucking, and hopefully he doesn't attack me. Until people can fucking step up and say, hey, that's not right. Fucking stop it. Let's band together as a group and fucking take down this obvious person that is wrongdoing. That is doing wrong to someone else. Until we can get to that point as a society, we are fucking hopeless. And we are subjected to whatever the fuck other people want to do with us. So I implore you to fucking band together. If you see something wrong that is happening, get together with other people and stop it from happening, because nobody can overpower 10 to 20 people that know what you're doing is wrong and want to stop you. Grab bag. Pull another one out. All right. We have reached the generic quote overload part of the NFL offseason. And where you're just seeing things like, oh, yeah, he's never been in greater shape. Oh, everything looks good. Everybody's going to win fucking at least 10 games, et cetera, et cetera. So, I'm an NFL guy, and, I like watching a little bit of the hockey playoffs and the NBA playoffs, but I mainly still paid attention to the NFL, even during the offseason. And now, there's interesting debate between the two players and both players I own in the one fantasy league that I'm in. I'm only in one fantasy league. And I'm interested to see which of the two does better. Two second-year guys. So there's Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence. Now, Zach Wilson showed more low side and higher upside during his season. Has the better team around him, and showed more high-end traits. Trevor Lawrence has the ideal quarterback frame. He doesn't have as good of a team, but he doesn't need as good of a team because he's super gifted, super talented, has a cannon for an arm. So I'm really interested to see which one of these two is the one that pops off for me, if either of them, and which one I feel more confident putting my chips in the middle with, because I've been getting trade offers for kind of both of them, and I'm just like, well, if I had to ditch one, which one would I ditch? But it's the ultimate debate. It's like, okay, talent with less team around him, and not as much talent but more heart and a better team around him. It's going to be interesting to see which one of the two flourishes with the upcoming NFL season. I'm really interested to see what happens. And grab another fucking topic. I think that sending emails to yourself is one of the best parts of having an email. It's probably half of what I use or what I like about using emails. The other, a lot of the other crap is just spam, shit that I don't read, people sending me shit and I never reply and stuff like that. I find that I use a lot, like, at least half of what I use emails for is just basically exclusively sending stuff to myself instead of reading stuff from other people. So that's it. That's all I got for you. It's been great. It's been another fabulous TWA2K. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, that was the World According to Kyle podcast. See y'all again on the next one.